How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm fine.
Yeah? Are you in your
Yeah.
studio?
I'm in a rehearsal studio. I come here sometimes.
Right. Where are you based? Paris?
Uh, I'm a bit in Paris, but this studio is not in Paris.
Okay. Cool, 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 cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for accepting to meeting up. I was really looking forward to this, to this exchange, and yeah, I,
Yes.
I I got to know your work, Iceland a couple of years ago, and I was really curious to just get to know you and get to ask you some questions also, that I've also been, wondering about and struggling with my own PhD thesis and solo project. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I'll just start, I guess, with the first question. So where I was
Yeah.
curious to know where your solo experience started from and what pushed you to start this practice. What were your references back then when you started? Because I've been reading that you perform solo since 2002. Is that correct?
I I I'm living from music from that moment.
Yeah.
I play solo like since long time. Like I guess like the first real solo I did. I think it was in 2003.
Yeah.
But then I worked a lot with other musicians, and I think the first solo that really was important for me was in 2010,
Okay.
because I did a performance in Jerusalem East for a Palestinian gallery, and it was like a triptych, and it was three different drum solos. So, and this one for me, I think it was in a way a sort of starting point, because I started to develop a way of writing and of using the computer. So yeah, I think this was really one important moment for me.
Yeah.
Uh, Um, so yes, like about this performance, I started to explore a series of continuums of rhythmical continuums, and it was really linking the drums and the computer, and it's really like it's very rhythmical and it's how to say that, it's like entering in a continuous flow
Yeah.
of rhythm, but it's very like it's not like a one pattern.
Yeah.
It's more like something that never stops, and sometimes there are some patterns inside,
Yeah.
but it's really like I do patterns with the drum, and there are different patterns also in the laptop.
Yeah.
So yeah, and uh, yeah, for me, I think this performance, it was like also a starting point, because it was like the thematic of the performance was of the thematic of the global festival was exhaustion. So it's very much linked to the political situation that was, and it's still there. And so I really I start how to say I started to build this project with this notion of exhaustion. So I had different approaches because it was a triptych, so three different parts that was using different views
Yeah.
of like a similar problem, and I was transposing it in drumming.
Yeah.
So for me also it was a bit conceptual approach. This approach was becoming playable, so it's not like abstract thing. It was really performed.
Yeah.
So
Makes
for
sense.
me it was also like one of
Yeah.
sorry, it was the first time I think I went that far in adapting some ideas on the drums, and
Mm.
because I did that earlier, but it was more like creating music for performing arts or for theater show or puppet shows or dance show.
Yeah.
But it was a bit different, and
And was
yeah.
the
So for me,
was the festival who asked you to perform solo specifically, like the invitation that they made you was in order to present a solo concert, or was that your decision?
I could have suggest other things, but it was also a question of budget, I guess,
Of course.
and it was sort of a commission, you know.
Yeah.
So they asked me to imagine something,
Yeah.
and because of this one of these reason, I played their solo, but also it was. I don't know actually if the question came at some point some point, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
But so
Um,
that's kind of like the how you started, you know, with the with your solo project. That was kind of like the start of it. Is that right? Or
mm,
before you came?
I played solo before, but not in that way, and
Yeah.
it was a bit maybe less important. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, in the sense that I was not going so far in the process,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah.
But and what's your background? I mean, in terms of music education, or do you come from what musical background?
Uh, I come from a musician family.
Okay.
So my father used to play drums and percussions, and also uh, was conceiving some instruments,
Yeah.
some electronic instruments. And my mother, she's still playing piano and composing.
Ah, nice.
So I have this background,
Yeah.
and also like for studies, I studied like
Hmm.
jazz drumming, and also like the theory, and I started was with the double bass when I was very young, and then yeah, I quit and started to play drums
Yeah.
and studied jazz. And at the same time, I also studied electronic music. I mean electroacoustic composition. So it was all in the French conservatory.
Yeah. And,
So this is for the background, and
yeah. And so, like, did you include electronics from the start in your solo project, or was that something that came later?
yeah, for me, you know, it's like I studied this really at the same time.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like merging them together like since a very long time.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, you know, I started to work on Max MSP,
Yeah.
but it took like a few years to become usable. And so at the beginning, I had like some electronic pedals, you know, some like
Like guitar
small
pedals.
things like
Yeah.
this. And yeah, so I think I started to be efficient with drums and electronics about maybe 2004.
Yeah.
But I was not playing solo. I had a trio with two flute players, and I was putting treatments on the flutes, and I was also playing drums at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. Super, super nice. Um, and I was also wondering if you could just talk about what's the role of composition, programming, and improvisation in your solo performances? Like, what's, you know, what's the process for you to structure a performance and decide what to, you know, what to do within the course of it?
Um, Actually, it depends of the project, but what I usually do is, I mean, now I'm more. Also, I think it's very much linked to which software I'm using. But like I'm using now, I'm working with Max MSP and Ableton Live, so I think it changes a bit like the way I'm working. Um, so, but the programming is very important in my process. I'm in the sense that I do some programming in Ableton Live, and but it's not the same temporality, I would say, or the same approach that in Max MSP. And so for me, like this, I think when I start a project, it's more like I put some ideas in Ableton Live, and then I try to maybe adapt the drums on this, you know, or I made some sketch on live, and then I play the drums, or I just make like a background and I add the drums after.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not. I'm not doing this that way. I mean, like I do this because it's a bit faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. If I have time, I would more start from the drums, from a specific pattern, or from if I want to explore a particular dynamic. I think it's easier to start from the play
Yeah.
and then find some ideas or adapt it on Ableton Live.
Yeah.
Um,
But in
um,
I've also read that the project Wastelands is also about integrating your solo playing to the space where you know you're going to be
yeah,
performing. So
yeah.
I was wondering how you create different soundscapes based on the setting. Like, do you go and do field recordings and then produce them, you know, through Ableton Live?
Mhm.
What's the process in that sense?
The thing is that I mean, with my the patch that I had that I developed in Max MSP, I have some flexibility.
Yeah.
And also, it's a tool that I'm using since a very long time, So I make it evolve a bit, but like I have like a base that
Mm-hmm.
that I know very well. So I can really adapt with. I mean, I worked a lot for. I'm still working a lot for performing arts.
Yeah.
So I'm used to also to adapt my configuration to different spaces. Even for a show, if I don't play drums, I just do the soundtrack. I'm used also to adapt like the speaker setup, for example. So if I do some spatialization, I have this notion of the space where it happens. So, and I also like very much to adapt the way I'm playing to my environment. So if I play with some dancers, for example, or for some puppets, I won't do the same thing at all.
Of course.
And for me, it's like sometimes it's a bit the same way to adapt, to
Mm-hmm.
the space. I'm taking more like the energy of the space.
Yeah.
I would not go there with my I don't know, my Zoom or microphones to hear the space. I would go there maybe to more to look at the space
Yeah.
and to try to imagine what kind of energy can resonate here or can enter in resonance with the space.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me I think that makes sense. So it's a process that I like very much. And well, sometimes, I feel a bit stuck with Ableton Live, for example, because there's not so much this capacity of adaptation. And with some tools that I have in Max MSP, I have more dynamics, and I can go in very subtle things, and it's for me it's very different approach.
Approach. Yeah. Yeah. But do you use Max
Yeah.
as an Ableton plugin or you use it by itself?
No. Yeah, I'm using it by
On your
itself
own. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
because I learned it before.
Yeah. 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 And so, would you mind
Um,
talking a bit about how you first conceived augmenting your drums by implementing electronics? So you were saying, you know, that you used pedals at first, and what was, you know, the process that lead you to building, the kind of hybrid set that you have today?
yeah, for me it's like because when I started to really make a living from the music, I was more. But I mean, I think it's maybe still the case, but I was more being a composer,
Yeah,
or electroacoustic composer.
yeah,
So for me, like playing the drums, it was maybe more. It's a bit separate, but it was maybe more. I mean, for this work, this part of the work, it was useful to have some materials, some sound materials, and then it's like I incorporate the drumming in the composition,
uh-huh.
and
Yeah,
it's not like the opposite.
the other side. Okay.
So so for me that is like the starting point. I was already like doing sound textures and this kind of things, but separately.
Yeah.
um so yes, it's like sorry, because I lose a bit the question.
Yeah, but
um
let's, we can also, just go freely, like whatever comes to mind. It's good for
sure.
us.
And so yes, I started to incorporate like the drum also, because it was for me like 2003 2004. It was a period was I was young, and I discovered a lot of very interesting musicians that I never heard about earlier. So I saw one musician that is called Hinokeji, who is a Japanese noise artist.
Okay.
I don't know if he's making noise actually. He's playing many instruments. It's more like he plays guitar, percussions, he's singing, but the way he's doing it is completely out of all the cliche you can imagine.
Yeah.
And it's like for me, it's more like uh, sort of I don't know, some sort of devil, it as it's like because when he plays something, like the intention he puts inside is like very much stronger than what we see,
Yeah.
and it's like for me it was it was really a shock when I saw him, because yeah, it totally changed my way of seeing music and listening to music. And like this notion of intention was really it's something I had a bit, because I'm very much interested in the mix of the different languages, like dance music, and or for me it's a reflection that I had, or sorry, already, because I was, for me, the music sometimes is a part of a more of a bigger thing,
Broader thing.
you know. Yeah, a bit like in the Indian conception of art, that like some traditional Indian is seeing music in a bigger part, in a bigger thing, and like they won't say like eh, how to say that. It's like I mean, in the tradition, it's like the arts is it's one thing, and
Yeah.
it's not separate.
Yeah.
And I think we have a bit the same here in the opera.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I'm not a big fan of the opera, but there is this notion of global art.
Yeah.
And for me, it's something that it was really questioning a lot. And when I saw Heino Keiji, it was like really a shock, because I saw him in a theater in Paris, and it was with a Buto dance performance, and it was really intense, like very strong. And also like the way because he was playing I don't know the name. It's a traditional instrument from the east of France, the west of France, sorry. um but he was really playing it like he was feeling a bit for me as a incarnation of a devil, on the
Okay.
stage,
Yeah.
because he was very much looking like some ghost that I saw in a movie of Kurosawa,
Yeah.
that is doing some prophecies, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And for me, it was looking the same, and he was playing like this, very. It was like really, really strong, very loud,
Yeah.
and also he play. I had that feeling because the way he's playing is so loud. He's really pushing like the borders,
Boundaries.
and
Yeah.
it in some way, it's like he moves a bit the perception of the listener.
Yeah.
And also, I discovered another musician at the same period, who is named Jamie Liddell. He's a singer, and at that moment, he was playing solo, and it was a bit before he started to be really famous. And he was playing solo, and he had like a setup that was mixing synthesizers and Max MSP. And for me, it was very interesting because he was developing things with loops, but it was before like the loop fashion, I would say, was
Yeah. The
that
trend.
was there. So he developed his own Max MSP patches, and was doing this loop thing, but in his own way. And it was very, yeah, it was very strong also because he has so much energy on stage.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, okay. So for me, like these two concerts were very were putting something, in my language.
Yeah.
Because I discovered these different approaches.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, I mean, some maybe it triggered something,
Yeah.
like the fact that I saw Jamie Liddell doing this solo that was giving so much energy, and Heino Keiji, who was like putting so much intention in his gesture, so there was like this a reflection about the gestures, about like how you give orientation to your energy. So when I walk on the solo wastelands, if I to go back to the notion of space, for me, like this question of intention is also very much linked to the space.
Yeah. Hmm.
So you can have some gestures, that they are going to resonate in that way in this space, and they are not going to resonate the same in another space. So
Yeah.
you have to move a bit the energy and to have like the the consciousness of how the listener will receive it.
Hmm. Perceive. Hmm.
Or
Yeah.
you can try to.
Definitely. Wow.
Um, so yeah, so I started to. For me, sometimes it's like when I say when I imagine a solo project. Um, Sometimes in the same project, I can have different parts that are not working the same, and some can be like more fixed,
Hmm.
like really like a composed piece, that is fixed, and I play the same drums, and the electronic is the same, and some other parts are more free, so there is a sometime in Maxim SP I have some sort of how to say, some algorithms, that are making these a bit random patterns, but it's not patterns, it's just rhythms, or maybe more like a flow, and I have like step in this flow, and I'm very free on the drum with it, but as there is this progression, it's really like it's a writing, it's a way of composing, it's not random at all. And also like the duration, it's very flexible for the duration, for all these aspects, so it's for me it's a flexible way of writing,
Yeah.
and it's more flexible than in Ableton Live,
Yeah.
because Ableton Live has this step way, but it's not the same conception. And so sometimes in the performances, I have this different process, and it doesn't give the same. Of course, it's not giving the same energy and the same perception.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, for example, I think, um, yeah, when I say like I'm for example, I did a solo that is called Rêve accaparé,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this solo is a reflection on the use of music and the sound as a control tool and also as a weapon.
Yeah.
So I have different approaches in the solo, and I'm sometimes I go more like um, I'm more explicit in the how the sound can be used as a weapon, or and also I'm in this solo I'm using video also,
Mm-mm.
and also lights. So sometimes the drums are controlling the video or the lights,
Yeah.
but it's also I mean it's always serving this subject.
Yeah. The message.
It's not like it's not just an effect.
Yeah.
And I mean, for sometimes in this solo, I have like this different way of approaching the composition, and I have like this. Um, Sorry, like some parts are very free,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working with Max MSP for this. I use the triggers and. I mean, it's free in the sense of it's completely flexible,
Yeah.
and it completely depends of the drumming. And some other parts are fixed, and I'm not using Max. I'm using Live, and there is not this freedom inside.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so it can be seen as some pillars in the performance, because maybe sometime I think maybe it's more readable for the audience.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
No, I think it is, and especially this super strong message that you try to deliver. I think through a lot of your solo performances are very, I guess, useful also for the people to just have something to grasp on, and I think that's super powerful. And one
Mm.
one reason why I don't know, I really like your solos and your project is this kind of extra musical component, which is embedded
Mm.
in your music, and you have like you always have like a super strong message, and you kind of like bring, as you were saying, different arts together, and that's something very very unique and super super inspiring. um so um
But thank you.
so does the composition always also come like it gets also, I guess, inspired by the message that you're trying to convey to the people, like to the
Uh, f- Not always, sometimes it's just ideas,
yeah.
or just even experimentation sometimes, from the synthesizer, for example.
Yeah.
But I like very much to put the music at the service of some ideas, and also because this is something that I learned by working with other fields, of arts. And for me, also I have it happens like uh, quite sometimes that I have some images that are coming earlier. I mean,
Yeah.
I start with some images, and then I imagine the music in these images. And it's not like sometimes I have some music, I start to imagine some music without images, but sometimes, yeah, I have this notion. And for me, I think it's very much linked to this experience I have with the theater and the puppet theater. Also because like one of the director I worked with uh, has a very strong imaginary, and I don't know, we sort of communicate like this, with images, and so he can describe me something, and the music comes like this, and we 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 agree like very easily.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I like also to develop this way of thinking. It's not like because it's something I learned also from readings, that sometimes you don't have to think in words. You can think in other ways.
yeah,
And for me also, this it was something that I didn't know. So even if I guess everyone does it, but
yeah,
not everyone knows it. So, and I think it's very different. And once you know it, you can develop it and you can go further.
yeah,
So, and I think like because the image and the sound, sometimes I mean in the mind are very close, and or you can make them very close.
yeah.
And also like the impressions can be very much linked. So for me, it's something that is very important. And sometimes I try to not go get loose in by the technique, or by the, I don't know, the drum techniques or the software, or but sometimes it's a bit complicated to get out of this process
Yeah.
and just give the idea.
Yeah, no, because especially like I think in your output, everything is so much integrated, like the different gestures, like your drumming and also, everything you need to be doing in order to control the electronics. So yeah, I was just wondering if you could talk about how was that process kind of like of learning, a new language. Yeah, I think with your solo, project, you kind of like gave birth to like a to new gestures, as you were saying, to a new technique also of
Ah,
on how to play the drums. So since like you sometimes play the instrument and sometimes you stop, or sometimes simultaneously you do stuff on your modular synthesizers while keep on drumming. So how was that process for you?
uh, I think like using the triggers, it's of course it change a bit like the way of drumming.
Yeah.
All but also like
What kind of triggers
because
did you use?
I'm using Roland triggers.
Okay.
Yeah, some simple triggers.
Yeah.
But the way I'm using it is not traditional, because I'm not using them as MIDI controllers. I just take the dynamic of the sound and I use this dynamic. So, and that's why also some, yeah, I mean it's very alive, because so I just take the sound and put some treatments on it. So sometimes it's like the sound of the trigger, so it's a piezo sensor, and so the sound at the beginning is very bad, and then if you put some effect on it, you can turn it a bit and maybe sound good. But yeah, so I have this, and it took me a long time to find the good triggers, because before I used D drum triggers, and it was different. Even if it's the same process and the same piezos, I don't know, but it was not really the same reaction. And also, I try to adapt. Because I use some other triggers. I try to like the new. It's not new anymore, but the Sun House triggers. Maybe you've seen these ones.
I
So I try to use it, and but I don't know. It's not very natural for me now. I saw some guys who are doing interesting things with it, and for me, I mean, the approach is very interesting. So I think maybe sometime I will keep trying to work with this, but for now, I cannot.
yeah,
But I use this like yeah, for me, like it's important to talk about that, because it took a long time to find something that can be used live without problem. Because at the beginning I had some microphones, and like even like some piezo, but it was sounding very bad, and the mics, it makes some feedbacks and etc. So yeah, it took a long time. And also I worked a lot with a studio, electronic music studio that is called Pusmus. It's based in Paris and or near Paris. And like the director of this studio is a very good Max MSP programmer, and also he is very much interested in this process. So to speak with him also, it was very helpful, and so yes, and also like his way, because he was always he yeah, he's still doing it, but at some moment he was doing solo with a new instrument that is called a meta instrument. It's like a sort of controller that has sensors, and it has different types of sensors and of controls. And he was also developing some solo concerts with mapping. For me, it was also very interesting to see and but yes, about the sensors and the gestures, like again, as for me, like to like Heino Keiji, in his sort of magic, was giving so many things. And also, what is for me like a fascination is that because when I saw him, he was playing. It was two performances. He was playing some this instruments, electric instrument, very loud, and after that he did like some. He was using some small percussions, some frame drums, but he was hitting them so violently. It was like completely. It was really extreme, but he was also like using the acoustic of the space, and also he's using sometimes some small xylophones, small ones, and he's hitting them like really strongly and play with the resonance. And like all these gestures are impacting the audience, and for me, like the also the way sometimes I use the triggers, it's also related to that, because if I put, like, for example, on my floor tom, I have like a filter that is sort of it's like a cut off, and it keeps only like the very low frequencies, but very loud, So if I do this, I just have this very strong. And also, I think this is a bit influencing my gestures, So sometimes with this dynamic approach with the triggers, you can have like you can play with like really like the movement, and it will have an impact, and so for me, it's very much related also.
Because
Um,
because you have so do you have one trigger on each shell, or you just use
uh, it depends actually, but sometimes yes, but the most of the time I have like a kick drum mic, trigger on the snare, and trigger on one floor tom,
yeah.
and that's it,
And so you process the three signals separately, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have also different, for example, in the solo Rêve Accaparé, it's like the snare can have different functions,
Yeah.
and the same, like, I mean, each element in function of at what moment it will have a different function. So and also I like this notion of switch like very fast, so sometimes it will trigger some very short sounds, like some just like super short voice sound,
Yeah.
and at some other moment it will trigger some presets of a synthesizer, and I like to switch like this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and for
That
me it's an interesting thing.
so in like the things you're gonna trigger through the sensors are going to depend on, the dynamic of the attack, right? Of the
Uh,
how hard.
it's not really. It depends actually. Sometimes I have like, for example, I have like on the kick drum. Sometimes I can have like this. I have a control of on one synthesizer, and I change the frequency with the this level.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah,
But also sometimes, I have like different presets on the reverb, and the snare will change, like will go to one preset, to change the preset, but on the old snare, old kit, sorry.
yeah.
And but yeah, I'm not like using like the dynamics. I'm using it more when I go, for example, in some reverb,
Hmm.
but it's more. I guess it's normal, but. It's just like a normal dynamic.
Okay, okay.
But I could like use this dynamic to change some control. But for now, I don't really. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not really using it.
yeah, yeah, sure, 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 sure. And so it's, like the function that the triggers, what the triggers trigger then um, changes through. It's something that is already set that you already programmed before, and so it changes throughout
Yeah,
whole composition
yeah, yeah, yeah.
from the function that you want them to have. Okay,
Exactly. Yeah,
got it.
yeah. But like for example, in this solo Reva Capare, yeah, like the different parts are changing the functions.
Yeah.
But for example, I have I'm not doing this, but I have I have a friend who's named Tarek Atoui, he used to do that, and he's not a drummer, he's an electronic musician, but he used to have like some controllers, and their function are changing while he's playing.
Yeah.
So for him, it's like very
Exploratory.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but also it's very interesting because it's creating some situations, that you have to play with or to use.
Correct. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And also I met Nicola Collins, who is a DIY electronic musician, and also his instrument when he turn it on, the functions are changing also.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And for me, that's very funny, and I like very much this approach.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe at some moment I will do this because yeah, I think it's interesting, to have these situations. But I won't do it like I mean, I would like to do it, but in a context that where it would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe in some next performance, in some specific parts,
Yeah.
I can be in danger like this.
Yeah. 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 Exposed. Exactly. Oh wow. Okay. Um. What was it? What was I gonna say? What's instead the role of the audience in your performance? Is the audience something that you keep into account while playing, like the interaction with the audience, or it's not something relevant?
I'm trying. I'm trying. It depends of the context also, but I think I start now to be more like it's I don't sometimes some performances are a bit like not really considering the audience. Of course, I give something to people, so it's important, but now I think I'm more trying to communicate
Hmm.
directly, I mean, with the voice and words to the audience. But I like to do it in some a bit. I put some effect on the voice and to make it like I don't know, something a bit fun and different.
Yeah.
So I like to do this. I think it's funny, but yeah, it's something that I have to develop and work on. But you know, when I play the drums, for example, in if I'm more like in sort of performance situation, I think I would maybe more communicate with the audience because of this question of energy, you know. And
Hmm.
if I am in some regular concerts, when we play like some sort of normal song, you know, I think I will be maybe more focused on the music and the interpretation of the music, and maybe will may sort of have less attention to the audience, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, and also like for this situation of performance, you know, it's also because sometimes, you know, like the context is you know, like you can be inside the audience, I mean in the middle of the audience, or in some space that it's not frontal, you know.
yeah,
And I like also this type of configurations. And if I have some instrument there and another one there, you know, also to work in the audience for me is it's like something I like to explore, you know. And
yeah,
you know, again, for this solo Rêve Accaparé, I had like different setups, you know, and I work from there, from one to one, you know, and it creates a sort of
yeah,
choreography.
right,
And
yeah,
so also it's, you know, so it's something I'd like to develop and go
yeah,
further, but
yeah.
sometimes it's a bit complicated to have like to create such situations.
Yeah, yeah, no, because you already have a lot of things to, to to control and to to worry about.
Yeah.
But and especially when I get to perform solo, what strikes me all the time is that people are very much receptive with me because I think the situation in which like you show yourself kind of naked because you're by yourself,
Mhm.
in the middle of the stage, and that vulnerability kind of I feel it for for my own practice kind of like invites the audience to be a bit more compassionate, at least like I don't know if
Yeah, maybe.
that you've that you've ever experienced. um
But I think it's also very much related to what type of music, you know. For if, for example, the solo Wasteland, it's more like
yeah, very energetic and
it's
yeah,
yeah, it's very energetic, and it's more based on a rhythm, you know. And sometimes people can dance on it, you know, and
yeah,
it's like and it's something that I like very much. It's but it's not the same energy, you know. So it won't be the same way to listen to it.
yeah,
And so I think it's very much also related to that. And that maybe for me it's like a process, and that's why also I start to speak to people, you know.
because before you were not
Big
doing that.
no. You
You
know, for
wait.
example, this solo Rêve Accaparé, I don't speak, you know, at all. You know, it's like yeah, we go in this situation and in this process, you know. And there's no word. I mean, sometimes there are fragments of word, but they are coming from the computer, you know.
Right.
And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and yeah, but in this solo wasteland, I can adapt, you know, and move, and
yeah,
it can be very free. And yeah, and also for the wastelands, because you were asking about like this the modular scenes.
yeah. Mhm.
Um, but yes, it's something you know, it's of course I'm still working on this. You know, it always evolves. Um, but yeah, like I don't think I'm completely conscious of this because you know, I keep playing with the right hand. I play the some instrument, some modular instrument with the left hand. And but also, you know, I think it's something that became natural because I I was already doing this with the computer, you know,
Yeah,
before having modular synths. Uh, and this is something like a Japanese artist uh, told to me. because he saw me, and I was doing a performance with two dancers, two hip
Okay.
hop dancers, and I was in this continuum thing, that I talked about, and I go, I can't stop it. I can go step by step, but I have to play with the computer for this,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm in some sentence, and I cannot stop like this, so I'm started to stop, but finally I continue, and for him that was like this thing was very like,
Very
was
disturbing.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, but sometimes I just I open some effect or just you know and it's part of the gestures,
yeah. Yeah.
but I'm not like, I because I some on the drums I really think about like this notion of intention, and it's for me it's more natural, of course, but like I cannot hit the computer like strong if I do a big sound or something like this,
Yeah.
so it's not it's not the same way of thinking the movement.
Yeah.
So I never thought about like maybe I should make some interpretation of on this. It's yeah.
Yeah. No, and I think it's very wise and very, very clever to use, the drum set, as you're doing as a trigger so that you don't have like by programming everything before, you don't have to worry about, like starting or pressing buttons too much because like you're using the sticks, in order
Mm,
to trigger certain things, and so like the drums gesture becomes like actually the trigger itself, that
yeah.
is certain things in the performance. So yeah.
Mm-mm, yeah. And there are like speaking with something I yeah, I thought to work on it, but I still haven't. But by speaking with the director of this studio that is called Pusmus,
Yeah.
um, uh, he told me maybe you can use some camera, because also like the gestures
Yeah. Yeah.
can be, you can make something that tracks the movement with Max MSP. But I guess it's a bit of programmation, but
Yeah. Yeah.
programming, but yes. And but after that, there was some sensors. I don't remember the name. It's working with some video games,
Okay. Yeah.
and you can use them, but yeah, you have to have time to
Yeah.
develop something with it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it could be very interesting, to also to control and to have some interaction with the drums,
Yeah. Definitely.
but yeah, it's
Yeah.
still an idea for now.
Yeah. And what are you working on at the moment? What new project related to your studio are you
um,
busy with at the moment?
I'm starting to work on a new performance. It's like a series of performances that I'm going to do at Kochi Biennale in India
Yeah.
in
Ah,
December.
that you're gonna be there. Yeah. Hmm.
And yeah, so I'm doing like oh sorry, I'm doing five different performances, and so I'm starting this process. I will one of the performance is going to focus on some rhythm, some particular rhythm, a bit like a bit following this performance I did that is called the unbreathing.
Hmm.
So I'm taking some rhythm and try to study the way they moved, the way they traveled, and how it's linked to the colonization.
Okay, like how they
So
traveled throughout history, you mean, like throughout the years? Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, and you know how you can find them in some
Yeah.
specific music, and when. So the one performance will be focused on this.
Yeah.
Uh, Another performance is going to be with I'd like to, I don't know yet, but with 10 hip hop dancers.
Okay. Wow.
and it's because I want to. This is something that I do already. I organize a dance battle,
Yeah. Mhm.
um, and it's for me it's something that is. I like this notion of. It's different from the performing arts, the like the shape that it takes, and the energy that it gives to people. It's very different and very strong. And for me, it's something important. I really like it. So I also I'm trying to do this performance to explore how to create this notion of cycle and
Yeah.
to feed it with the drums, and by playing solo. I mean, because I the idea is to play solo with like these 10 dancers and do this cycle thing, and how to feed it,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so so this is one of the performance. And a third one will be focused on the voice.
Hmm.
So I don't think I will play drums at all. I think I will play voice and synthesizers,
Okay.
and yeah, just go in some sort of trance, because like for example, when I did this solo in Jerusalem East, I in one of the three parts there was the notion of trance, go into trance and to exhaustion because of the the long playing,
Yeah.
um, so for me also it was because it was a starting point, like this performance, because also I started to explore this continuum thing, and some explore some sort of trance, and so I want to also keep doing this, and yeah, I think the voice also is a good way to explore it. So for me it's something very new, and so yeah, I will work on this on like I start like in a few days,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah,
But
and also I'm start. Sorry, yes.
no, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. I'm starting also. It's not a start actually. We just keep doing a trio that I have with Hélène Bréchamp, who is playing harp, and Loya, who is playing modular synth. And I mentioned this because also we explore also the notion of trance,
Hmm.
and for me it's like a continuation because I started this exploration with the solo, but also I worked on a project. It's a long time ago now, but it was also with Tarek Atoui,
Hmm.
who invited several musicians to explore the heritage of Tarab. It's a specific aspect of Arabic, of classical Arabic music, and Tarab it's a sort of state of mind, that you can reach when listening to some specific music,
Okay.
and I think it's very close to some state of mind that you can have sometime with jazz,
Hmm.
and for me, I mean, this is the way I understood this, and for me, it's also because it's a sort of very soft trance, and I like. For me, it's very interesting to explore this different notion of trance because I think there are like very much different types of trance, and it's not the same way to go in this or this one or this one.
Yeah.
So, and with this trio with Hélène Bréchamp and Loya, we also explore one particular type of trance,
Okay.
and so we are going to keep continuing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's already
It's already a lot. Yeah. And so also for your other bands, like do you always, go back to the solo work kind of in order to um develop your own language or develop a new language? Like is the solo something that you um you think of keeping your whole life because it's a way for you to, for self-development and for that also then you can translate um, and use for other projects.
Uh, f- um, I think I probably play solo, yeah, or like I don't think I'm going to stop. I don't know. But because also it's very different thing. Of course, when I play solo, I can explore things and then use it
Yeah,
when I play with other people, and it's very enjoyable. And also, like it can go on the in the other direction.
yeah,
But yeah, like when I play solo or when I develop a solo project, uh, I can do whatever I want, and I'm it's more I'm more free, and I think I can be more direct,
yeah,
and this is something I like very much, and sometimes, when I play with other people, I really like to play with other people, but it's very different thing, and I sometimes I feel a bit stuck because I cannot go there, or and yeah, so I think it's not the same thing,
yeah,
um but sometimes I really like to play with other musicians because that, like, you can also like uh, build energy, together, and I really like to do this also, and it can go like super fast,
yeah.
and so it's very different. But I guess I think I liked both. It's
Yeah, yeah, no, of course, yeah, yeah. But
mm,
it's true that it's a different setting in which you don't have to make compromises with anybody, and so you can be totally in control with your output. Okay. Anything else?
yeah. Sorry, because I have sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Excuse me. It's the phone.
Yeah, I think it's that's enough for me. Do you have anything else?
Okay.
I mean, I think there's a lot, in your work that we could have touched upon more deeply. If there's anything that you think that it could be relevant to mention. Uh,
Uh,
that,
I don't know. No, I think it's okay.
okay? Yeah.
But you are going to like because I looked a bit to the other videos that you did. I think that's really super cool and great thing. So I'm very curious, like, but because how are you going to use it? Like in the end, you.
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna just like stop the, no, I'll stop it later. I have to make a thesis, um, so like a written output because I'm working on, on a concept of my own in terms of, in terms of performance. And then I also have to like, to write a thesis about it um, and I will take, I guess like a lot of inputs that I'm gaining from all these interviews regarding, language, gesture, practice, and kind of, yeah. I still don't know how because it's my first year doing this PhD research, so everything is a bit, in process. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so yeah, and I think there's going to be like a part involving, gender and ethnicity regarding connected to the like a more, anthropological part in thesis,
Okay.
kind of relating
Mm.
to um the individuality of the performer and why certain performers have more the urgency of kind of like developing their own sound,
Mhm.
just play traditional, and kind of like investigating if that has anything to do with the um, with their ethnicity and gender as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are some
Yeah.
questions that
I
I'm.
saw that question actually, but yeah, I think it's a good aspect of reflection.
Yeah,
You know.
I don't have an answer, of course, and so it's yeah,
But do you know Suzy Ibarra,
yeah,
like the
actually,
drummer?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I do.
Yeah, I really like her, and yeah, for me, she had like a big, also a big influence, I think,
Yeah, yeah, she's
on the way I'm playing, because like she has all these like very subtle gestures, that
yeah,
I really like. Mm.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, also like this question of ethnicity, I think it's also important. You know, I mean, because for me, before it was not like, I think it took a long time to realize that I have been, because my grandparents, when they arrived in France, they cut like in a way, they stopped to speak Creole,
yeah,
and they cut some of their origin,
yeah,
and I think it worked, So I mean, like my cousins and in my close family also. From my sister, she never went because we are from half Guyana,
okay, nice.
and for example, she's never been there, and
Yeah,
I think when I went there, it started also to trigger something, because of this rhythm, and that like these rhythm are some rhythm that I know, since long time, but I never played with it. I started to play with, since that moment, and that's also, for me, it's more like at some point I just wanted to sort of reconnect with
yeah,
these roots.
yeah,
So I don't know, because like when I saw your question, I was like, for a long time it was not. I don't think I was playing anything related to my origins.
yeah,
I mean, like, I mean, literally, And then after some months, after maybe since like, I don't know, 7 years, something like this, it's becoming a more important question, and still till now,
yeah, yeah.
It's yeah, and yeah. So I think it's a interesting reflection.
Yeah, no, but just like, I think the fact of, you having and are still like you being still working on developing your own, your own language also by kind of like going back searching for your roots, you
Mhm.
know, gives you like the possibility then to have a more personal way of expression, and
Yeah.
and and,
Mhm.
and allows you, not to be, I don't know, maybe playing some other aesthetics, but kind of like having this urge of, finding, your own identity and your personal
Yeah.
definition in music. So I think there's something there. There's definitely, a connection. Um,
Yeah, but also for me, it's a question, because when you say this, for me, like using this rhythm, it's also maybe why, sometimes I play. I mean, for the waste in the solo wastelands, it can sometimes, I'm go more in the direction of making people dance. I think it's related to many things, but also it's related to these things, that like these rhythms, like are very specific, and there are some of them are really meaning something, and also, like they are like very much danceable, and more direct than some rhythm that I took from example from I don't know, contemporary music, or
yeah.
it's a it's a it's a different thing,
And
and
do they also have that trans thing that you were talking about before?
uh yeah,
Trans
I mean,
aspect in the culture of
yeah, but like for me, like this trance aspect, I really started to think about it and try to develop it in since like 2010.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, from before that, it was not I was not thinking about it, it was not a reflection. Yeah. Mm. But yeah, like this yeah, ethnical question is, yeah, it's I think it's very important. Sometimes, I would prefer that not, because it raises like many questions,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes it's easier to not think about that. But yes, I
Yeah.
think it's important.
And for you, like the fact of playing, playing solo and having developed such a, unique and personal language, do you think it has anything to do with the kind of taking distance from everything you studied, like from the academic world, from the tradition,
Ah,
from,
yeah, in a way, yes, because yeah, at some moment, I don't think that what we play, I don't think you learn it at school. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very much related to your experience in life. Like
Yeah,
the real experience.
yeah,
and and that's why I think like some people don't know anything about music, but they will have much more to say, and they will go very much. They will go faster, and because what they have to say is much stronger, and
yeah,
so yes.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
But at some point, yeah, I think I had to forget everything I learned, or in a way, I mean, of course,
yeah,
but yes, and to use it like in a more specific way, to make to yeah to give sense to this,
yeah,
just not using it as a theoretical thing,
yeah, yeah, definitely,
and
definitely. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, like I remember, I must have read somewhere that Han Benek said, like he was talking about his teaching approach to students, and talking about the fact that he wants to make everybody sounds like themselves, and and their own experiences, instead of making them sounds like the experiences of somebody else, like of
yeah,
American, African Americans, for example, living in the 40s or so. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's all connected, and yeah, uh,
yeah, yeah, totally.
it all has to make sense with us, and with our experiences. Yeah, and with
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm. Yeah,
yeah.
that's funny. On Benink, I saw him long time ago, and it was very fun
Yeah,
because he was invited, and it was also very interesting because it was a jazz band, and they had like their composition, and they invited two drummers. It was Han Benink and another one. I don't remember his name. I think it's Paul Rogers, but I'm not sure. And like he was doing like Han Benink, is like throwing things and like yeah, throwing energy.
yeah.
And the other drummer, he was like they were opposite on stage, and the band was in the middle.
Wow.
And like the other drummer, he was small and using mutes on the drum and doing small things. It was really fun and very yeah, really interesting, and also to see the band in the middle that was completely lost. you know they were trying to do their composition, and it was the explosion on one side and like very small thing on the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
Really fun, but it was a good concert actually.
Yeah, I bet with
Yeah.
unbelief it has to be. Okay. Yeah. I cannot thank you enough, really, for
No, thanks to you.
time, for being willing to speak about your.
Yeah, yeah, sorry because I mm,
No, no, it was really great, and I think it was really super useful. I got some super nice inputs, and some things that I was very curious about. So yeah, really, thank you for the inspiration and for
cool.
everything you do, because I really like your projects. So
Oh,
it's really inspiring, and I'm happy to to have got the chance to meeting you. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. All right. Um,
Cool.
I'll let you be, and yeah, I hope to get to see
Yeah,
you
maybe.
one day.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, with pleasure.
Yeah. All right. Have a great
Okay.
day. Ciao, Uriel.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao.